Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Zarif Noazik bin Amauli. I am from J4EM1104A. My student ID 2019346521.
Hello, my name is Fakrul Fahmi bin Zamzuri and my student ID is 2019131275.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Fidaus bin Muhammad Zaini and my student ID is 2019399723.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Ali Faiman bin Rozin and this is my student ID. So for this video I'm gonna talk about the plastic container. So basically plastic container are made of plastic exclusively or partially. So plastic as may you know or may not know, plastic is a very versatile material with element origins such as hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen and sulfur. So these building blocks for a variety of plastic to make products that we use every day. So there are several types of plastic used to make food packaging. You may have seen it number 1 through number 7 on the bottom or side of plastic container. And if you haven't seen it yet or didn't realize it was there, let's take a look. To be more clear of this, let's take a look at this example of plastic container. This is just a regular plastic container that we commonly use at house. Let's see what's the recycling number it has. So it has 5, which is polypropylene. So what is polypropylene? Polypropylene is somewhat stiff but less brittle than some other plastics. So it can be made in different forms such as different color, opaque or translucent. Polypropylene also generally has high melting point, making it suitable for food packaging products that are used in microwaves or clean in dishwasher, for example. Polypropylene commonly used in food packaging product to make yogurt containers, maple syrup containers, and as well as the containers that I've shown you earlier in the video. And most importantly, polypropylene is recyclable, and to be sure of it, you can check with your community recycling center or just Google it for more information. And last but not least, polypropylene can be manufactured through injection mold into living hinge. So living hinge are extremely thin piece of plastics that can be bent without breaking. So this is very useful for non-bearing load applications such as liquid and food. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, hello. My name is Zarif Noazik. So I will explain about process flow of plastic injection molding. Okay, firstly, the injection molding process requires the use of an injection molding machine, raw plastic material, and a mold. The plastic is melted in the injection molding machine and then injected into the mold where it cools and solidifies into the final part. It wouldn't be wrong to say that this process is so far the best and the most effective way to produce mass product parts. As the name implies, it's a process where a mold is prepared and designed as per shape of the product, and then some material is melted and then injected inside the mold. It's cooled down and the end product comes out. Okay, here are the steps involved in this process. Firstly, the mold clamping. The injection molding cycles begin right when the mold closes. In some cases, when it's a robot involved, The cycle will run from part to part. In other words, the cycle will start and end when the robot receives a new part or when a part prepared touch the conveyor belt. The screw advance and plastic flow into the mold. Temperature, pressure and shear rate. Injection speed, the rate at which the ram screw move, is the most critical variable during fill. A polymer flow more easily as injection speed is increased. However, injection speed that is too high can create excessive shear and result in problems such as splay and getting. More importantly, heat from a higher shear rate can degrade the plastic, which adversely affect the properties of the molded part. Secondly, injection and pack press. The next step is where the heated plastic is injected inside the mold. When the melted plastic goes inside the mold, all that displaced air inside is escaped through the vents with the help of injection pins and the parting lines. This is an important part where it's important for you to consider the gate, the runner and the vent design to ensure that the mold is properly filled without any room or space left. It is important to completely fill the mold and avoiding overpacking or underpacking, since packing pressure determines parts weight and part dimension. Overpacking can cause dimensional problem and difficulty in injecting the part, while underpacking can result in short, seeing, part weight variation and warpage. Thirdly, cooling. When the mold is filled, that particular part is then allowed to cool down for a while. A certain amount of time is required here to harden the melted material. The time required for cooling depends on the type of resin that being used and the thickness of the part that being prepared. The mold is then designed with the help of internal cooling and heating lines, where our water cycles is used to bring down the temperature of the mold. This cooling process generally the longest part of the molding cycle, up to 80% of the cycle time. Optimized cooling time can yield substantial gains in productivity. Fourth, mold opening. When the parts cool, the barrel screw is broke near the plastic resin. It retracts and draws into the barrel with the help of a material hopper. The required barrel temperature is maintained as per the type of resin that's being used. Fifth, injection. The next step is that of ejection. This is where the mold opens, and with the help of the ejector root, the pins are moved forward. There's a bin placed below the mold. That's where the product falls and is captured. 6. Removal of the packaging and the runner. A machine is used to separate the usable parts from the runner leftover. For those who don't know, the runner is the pathway taken by the plastic to fill in the mold cavity. These runners help a lot in reducing the overall cost and the impact on the environment. These are the simple steps involved in the injection molding process. Okay, for advantage: lightweight, heat resistant, high chemical resistant, scratch resistant, natural waxy appearance, tough and stiff, low cost. Scrap can be recycled. For disadvantage: limited to thin wall parts, high tooling and equipment cost, long lead time possible.
Hello, my name is Fahmi and I will explain about what is defects actually. Defects is a rejection product whereby it is almost difficult and costly to address, but we can prevent these defects by adjusting the valve, such as adjusting the pressure, the temperature, and also the volume flow rate. So by adjusting this valve, we can save more money without to redesign the mold tool, the molding process and so on. The first defect that I will be explaining is seam marks, whereby seam marks is a small recesses or depression in otherwise flat and consistent surface of a molded part. This can occur when the inner part of a molded component shrinks and pull the outside of the material to inward. This can be prevented by using the cooling time to limit the shrinkage, and also design your mold with thinner component walls to allow for faster cooling near the surface. The second one is burn marks. Burn marks is actually typically appear as black or rust color discoloration on an edge or surface of a molded plastic part. The causes of this burn marks actually because of overheating, because of the air inside the mold is trapped. And what we can do to prevent this is by reduce the melt and mold temperature, and the second one is reduce the injection speed so that the air is not trapping inside the mold. The one is wet lines, whereby wet lines is we can see from the surface of the molded part, whereby the molded material has converged after splitting off into two or more directions in the mold. The causes of this wet lines is lower the temperature, and what we can do to prevent these defects is by increase the material temperature so that it prevents the partial solidification, and also we can redesign the mold to eliminate partitions.
So I will proceed to the next part, which is about safety procedure and method in manufacturing process. Okay, so our method we use is process injection molding. Process injection molding is a manufacturing process for producing part by injecting molten material into a mold, and then it can be with a host of material, mainly including metals, and then it's use a special purpose machine that has three parts, which is the injection unit, the mold and the clamp. Okay, this is the injector molding. Okay, we proceed to the safety rule for injection molding. So firstly, keep the injection molding machine and its surrounding environment clean, and then the space around the injection molding machine should be kept as smooth as possible. And after adding the lubricant oil or pressure oil, the leak oil should be wiped, and then clean the debris such as rubber particles on the melter cylinder before turning on the electric heat to avoid the fire when use the machine. And then check if the emergency button is pressed or the safety door is open during the operation. And then when cleaning the barrel, adjust the temperature of nozzle to the most appropriate high temperature to keep the nozzle clear. Then use the lower injection pressure and speed to remove the remaining rubber in the cylinder. Don't forget to direct contact with the glue just shoot to avoid burns. And then avoid leaving heat sensitive and corrosive plastic in the barrel for too long. And then when replacing plastic, make sure that the mixing of new old plastic does not produce chemical reaction, which is POM, PVC, are mixed and heated to produce toxic gas. other plastic must be used to remove the old material in the barrel. Okay, next, we must avoid leaving heat sensitive and corrosive plastic in the barrel for too long. When replacing plastic, make sure that the mixing of new and old plastic does not produce chemical reaction, or other plastic must be used to remove the old material in the barrel. And then before operating the injection machine, it must be checked whether the mold is firmly installed on the movable plate and the head plate of the injection molding machine. And then don't forget to pay attention to whether the ground wire and other wiring of the injection molding machine are connected securely. And lastly, when operating the injection molding machine, it can be operated by one person and no multi-person operation is allowed. It is forbidden for one person to operate the control panel while another person adjusts the mold for perform other operation. And then we have extra safety for the person in charge. As usually, we must use the glove, boot, safety boot, and don't forget to wear the spec to avoid any accident while use the molding machine.